Yeah, hi there. And these comments are for one of my students. I'll just call you Med, M-E-D. So you say, hello, professor, I have a problem, especially in writing. I would like to submit to you for advice. Whenever I'm writing an essay, I have problem to control word spelling. I don't often have time to read my essay before the time is over, 30-minute time limit. When I read my essay after your TOEFL raters have graded it, I realize I did some careless errors which could be prevented if I got time. I would change that to say if I had had the time to read my essay. For instance, instead of writing world, I wrote word. Instead of helped, I wrote heped, H-E-P-E-D. So many spelling errors. So my worry is that since the time allotted to independent writing tasks is too short to control my spelling, how can I manage to solve this problem to avoid those types of mistakes which can cost a lot of points to me? Unfortunately, in the IBT test, we can use a computer to type instead of handwriting, which helps me to avoid careless errors when I'm writing with my hand. My mind is more concentrated on words than when I'm typing with the keyboard. For instance, in this message, if you did not get time to read it, you would see plenty of careless errors in it. Your advice is welcome. Best regards. All right. So I can understand where you're coming from here. Now, I'm going to say for the most part, you can have a few typos and misspellings during the independent and integrated writing tasks, and that should not cause a huge problem in your grade. Now, the email that you wrote me here, you actually have fairly good spelling here. You do have some grammatical issues that you're dealing with. For example, you're having some problems with your verb tenses a little bit, especially when you're talking about hypotheticals, things like that. Now, the other thing is if you take the word world and then you write it word, that can cause trouble because that's a totally different word. So it's one thing to misspell a word, but it's another thing to change the word to another word. Now that starts interfering in your ability to communicate. Now, one of the things that you said in this email I want to comment on is you said you don't have time to check your spelling. Now, I'm going to say you're wrong on that. I'm going to say right now, take about 3 to 5 minutes for your independent writing task, writing your introduction, kind of setting up the essay. Then take another 20 minutes for writing the body of your essay, including the conclusion. Now, the last 5 minutes you should spend is to edit the essay, is to look for your grammar errors, any possible spelling errors in there, any problems with punctuation. You definitely want to try to find some of those problems and eliminate those. Right? That would be one of my comments there. Now, in the remainder of this video, I want to go over a few suggestions of things that I think you can do that can help you improve your spelling. Now, number one, I think probably one of the best things you can do here is go to the vocabulary section of my course. I have, I think 4 different lessons that will help you learn 1,700 TOEFL words. Practice spelling every word you see there. What you can do is go to my website, look at the word, and then close the program and take a sheet of paper and write that word onto a note card. Now then go back and check your spelling. Make sure your spelling is correct. If it's not, then rewrite the word 4 more times using the correct spelling. So that's one thing that you can do. So create note cards practicing the spelling of all of the words in my vocabulary section. Now, my second suggestion, try to minimize how much you rely on spell checking programs. Because if you're always using the spell check program in Microsoft Word, for example, you're not really using your brain to make the correct change. Now what you can do is if Microsoft highlights the word in red, you know that it's incorrectly written. You can, instead of looking at the correct spelling, try to rewrite it until the red goes away underneath the word. Right? So try to use your own brain to correct the spelling instead of the computer. And really pay attention to how that word should be spelled once that you have spelled it correctly. Now, another suggestion. You ever heard this? An apple a day keeps the doctor away? Now, we could say a book a day helps keep your brain healthy. So the more that you read, the more words you'll learn, and as you're learning those words, obviously pay attention to how those words are spelled. Now, I can tell you this. Here's my next suggestion. Sometimes when I'm in one of my writing classes at California State University, San Bernardino, I'll see some of my students doodling. Doodling means you just take a pen or a pencil and you start drawing pictures in your notebook, something like that. So what I'm saying is, when you doodle, doodle constructively. It means create doodles around hard to spell words. So it's something that you can do that can very quickly help you improve your spelling. Now, my next suggestion. When you're reading books, magazines, or newspapers, either jot down those unfamiliar words or circle or highlight them, and this can help you learn the new words and increase your vocabulary, and of course, it will increase your spelling. Now, the next thing you want to do is keep a spelling journal. Every time you come across a word you don't know, write it down. And then you can use these later as your mirror words. And what do we mean by mirror words? It means that you can write a new vocabulary word or a hard to spell word on a sticky note, and then place it on your mirror, and then every time you look at the word or the mirror, you'll look at the word and you will see how to spell it. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. So these are some basic suggestions of some things that you can do. And remember, keep practicing. I mean, the first step, I'm going to be honest with you here. You're already on the road to success here. You already realize that you have a spelling problem, which means that's the first step towards solving your problem. Now, Med, I've given you some possible solutions, and you can kind of think about what I've just said, and then you can think about which of these things you think will help you the most, and you can start trying to use these things in your daily life. Anyway, thank you for contacting me and for asking the question, and also thank you for becoming one of my online students. And remember, if you have more questions, just send me a quick email, and I will try to get back to you as quickly as I can. And I apologize for taking so long to respond to your message now. Anyway, have a great day.